Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 18th Masterclass with the MET Orchestra Musicians on Lessonface. Today featuring Pedro Diaz. I'm Katie Falk-Flores here with Lessonface, where we connect students with great teachers for live lessons and classes. In this masterclass today, we will have 3 student performances and coaching sessions, followed by a brief Q&A at the end. So please enter any questions in the chat box if you have them, and we will address them after the performances. That being said, let's get started. And now Pedro Diaz of the MET Orchestra will coach Rachel Becker of Boise, Idaho, who will play the second movement of Sonata in F minor by Carlo Ivan.
excellent, excellent, beautiful. It's not often we get such an incredible coloratura area. I mean, this is what it is. It's beautiful at the height of the beginning of the bel canto. 1830s. You know that Donizetti and Carlo Ivon were born like a year apart. So they were around the same age. And he was from Milan, and Donizetti was from I've been there. What's it called? Where he was born. Anyway, but at that time, Donizetti was in Bologna, which is also not far. And Donizetti wrote in 1816, 1817 was the Donizetti Concertino for English horn. And so I'm thinking Bergamo. Bergamo was very close to Milan. I know because when I went to Bergamo to do research for the Donizetti Concertino, I stopped by in Milan. So they must have known each other. And of course, Carlo Ivon was a virtuoso oboist and English horn player. So it's all really closely knit together. There's also the development of these great operas, Bellini, Donizetti. It was all happening back then. So it's an incredible piece, which I actually have never performed, but I know it. I want to, but it's just this movement. It's incredible. I mean, it's up there with those the Queen operas, the Donizetti Queens. And I think you did a really, really beautiful job. I feel like you have to be a little more of a diva in terms of less instrumentalist, more like think of it like a song without words sort of feel, where you're emulating the height and the gravity of the fingers. They want to bring you down, and you just want to float above. Um, so, do you mind if we just, we just moved to a new house, and most of my music is still in boxes. So I'm trying to look at the part here online, and I don't know how to
it's
do
not
both
very
things.
Good on mine. I think it's I think it's the one I have. It's hard to read.
Yeah, I have it somewhere, but not. Okay, I did find a part. I think, did I not? I thought I did. Yeah. Okay, so I feel like you could really take your time. It's a beautiful, cantilene, um, because you have to give that time for that beautiful melismatic ornaments. So don't be in such a rush. It's not a virtuosic moment. You'll have time for that later, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what tempo were you thinking? Did you have in mind?
I don't actually have the metronome marking, but
I'm looking for my metronome. How about? Oh, okay.
that didn't come through.
I would only quicken the dotted rhythms. I would try to make the ornaments, the gruppetos, as wide as possible, so they feel more time instead of being fast and quick.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Can we try that again, please?
Yeah.
It sounds really beautiful.
Thank you.
And I like the color thread on your reed. Extra points for that.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Let me see. I don't know if it's gonna sound good if I play, but we'll play in the microphone.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is you want to lengthen the passing tones, and the pickup notes have to be really, really alive and with a lot of direction.
Mm-hmm.
I think the movement of your body also determines your phrasing. So if I see a lot of this, I end up kind of hearing it. So I would suggest trying to move in the direction of the phrase.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. If I can, I'm sorry, I'm going to imitate you.
Yeah, please.
I'm going to imitate you. I think it is something like. It wasn't like that, but also another thing I wanted to say is vibrate your passing tones, because if you're playing the cello, which is what I would like it to sound like, they really vibrate the portamento. They really vibrate through the notes. So it's like when you play. Nobody vibrates that C, that F, So if you do, you can get the job.
Yeah.
So really every passing tone is beautiful, because that's what bel canto means. Is sort of, doesn't mean, but that's what people associate it with, a soprano that can float in the air as long as possible, especially in the high notes.
Oh, now I'm
Okay, wait, no, that's good. I think you think of it as like putting more butter on the bread, more evenly. And also be careful that when you come from the G, which is more important, you go into the high note, then when you come back into the E flat, that it doesn't stick out. Okay, that's really good. I'm sorry, I'm messing with perfection. Let me try another read. All right. I'll try another English one too. While we're at it. The weather is changing so much here.
Oh, I know. It's gone up 20 degrees here.
Try this. Okay. Well, the internet plays tricks on us too, which I'm sure Katie is doing her best. It's a thing called latency.
Yeah.
And all this, the dynamic range is compressed. So I cannot even tell if you're doing dynamic changes. I'm sure you are. But what I would like to see if I can actually hear the vibrato over the lines. Yeah. It's possible that you're doing. So let's just bring down the dynamics a little softer. I'll try to. So we can let the vibrato go through the internet tubes rather than the sound. Do you hear my vibrato?
I do, yes.
Okay. Okay, and before you let go of the D, give it a little more substance so then it can just wash away by itself. Go from the sol, mi, re, sol, mi, re. Okay, but resist the tendency to drive the note, just let it go. Okay, but let's just go on to the next thing. Now, no. Okay, just as even as possible.
Okay.
Now, because it is an ornament, it's not really as important as the main note. So you would kind of hush it a little bit. Okay. Okay, and then to keep the line going, just make sure that you end the phrase quick and soon enough with a diminuendo, so then you can take a really nice breath for a very beautiful pickup note. All right. Also, this, don't do it driven. Make it like a parenthesis, and then when you get to the D, we got here. That's what you want. So don't make it like that, like it's just floating and searching. Go from the si si la so sa fa la so si la do. Okay, I think in this case, maybe the E flat was a little bit too long, so then you were forced to rush that. I still don't want, too much virtuosic feel. It's such a beautiful cantilene. You're doing a great job. Let's go on a little bit. Go on. Yeah. Okay. So it is an eighth note, but you still have to give it a lot of energy. Yeah. So it just sounded too short.
Okay.
Good, beautiful. I'm trying to think what to do. I mean, you don't really need to breathe, but maybe do a little diminuendo. It just sounds like there's that something wants to change colors, just so you can have the listener kind of say, instead of just continue to plow on like. And then you finish a little more authoritative.
Yeah.
Go from the eighth note pickup, please. Okay, Rachel, it's so good, but I am gonna pick on your body movements again because when you go like this, your music goes like that too. So then you did something like what was it? It was so beautiful, and then you did. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, Casal said when the music goes up, you go up, right? And when the music comes down, you come down. So. That's good. That's good. I like that even better. Now imagine Carlo Ivon playing this, in 1817 or 20. I can't remember when he wrote it, but on an Incagnoli English horn or something like that. That was like a typical brand. I don't know. I mean, you probably have a much better deal with him, So for him to be able to make this sound, like the way it's written and sound like music, he must have been a genius. All right. So you know what? I don't know if we have much time, Katie, but I want to go into this midsection, this little pastoral little motif. That's very lyrical soprano territory, right? So be careful because it's so repeated. There's so much repetition that it doesn't sound too monotonous. So see if there's something you can do with dynamics or the emphasis that you're doing. Let me hear it again. And also, I don't think it needs to be that much faster. It feels like a little allegretto, but it shouldn't feel like you're trying to make a rondo out of it or anything like that. Okay, it's interesting. I'm looking at the phrasing and I'm thinking, okay, I know what you're doing, Rachel, because you could do. Or you could do. So which is it? Whatever it is, you should make it sound like a little, a little pollination moment where bees are, it shouldn't just be like. It to me sounded a little bit like this. So maybe. Or. Something that doesn't make your ear fatigue from hearing so many Fs. There's too many Fs on an oboe English horn.
Yeah.
Brava. Beautiful. Do the same now. Maybe make the first do si la so fa, make it pianissimo. Pa 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 da 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 pa pa da da da. Okay, again, be careful driving the music down with your body and your air. Pa, pa, da, pa, 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 da, 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 pa, da, pa, da, pa, da, 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 da. Yeah, sometimes we want, we want to go home with a touchdown. And other times we want to be like a bird landing on a branch.
Yeah.
So this is more like the fauna simile. Okay. And then this beautiful legato section. You want to go on?
Sure.
Yeah. Just go on from there. Okay. Arrive on the D after the trill, and then go on. It just sounded like you too ready to get there. And they said maybe do a little rubato where you don't start right in tempo and then you race to the top. Try that. Maybe the penultimate. The last two, la sol, la sol, la sol, la sol. Okay, that's good. But dynamically, we must do something dynamically because it sounds really strong and authoritative. But I'm trying to get you away from that.
Yeah.
I want you to, just experience lightness in the playing and secretive and dreamy playing. Okay. So I think to me it's very important that you arrive at the conclusion. Okay. Try that again. Okay, maybe what you want to do is race to the top, but then when you get to the C, keep it like a diminuendo maybe. Or something like that. The sopranos always take advantage once they get there in the stratosphere to try to hold on to it as much as possible. But I think you're doing fantastic. I would say just work on playing sort of horizontally instead of vertically. And I mean your body movement, your gestures, make sure that they go up. Your playing it's good. I think your pitch is really good.
Thank you.
Good pitch. Nice tone. Vibrato, I like to hear more, but it's hard to know, from the internets.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions?
Not any that spring to mind. Yeah, it's really interesting. I think I had thought in the bel canto style of emphasizing some different aspects, but I like the feeling of pulling away in some of it. I have a tendency to be too pushed forward in the sound, so it's good to pull it back.
Rachel, that was a wonderful performance. Thank you so much for playing for us today, and Pedro for the amazing coaching.
Thank you so much for your comments. I really appreciate it.
You sound beautiful. Thank you.
So, for our second performance of the day, we have Pedro Diaz of the MET Orchestra, who will coach Karen Hastings of Salt Lake City, Utah, who will play selections from La Mer by Claude Debussy.
after 4.
Karen, I have a question.
Yes.
Is it C sharp or C natural? I can't remember.
I have a C natural. That's what I
Okay.
have in my
Okay. I'm
part.
trying to remember
I just
another
have the
part.
IMSLP part.
No, no.
So it
Okay.
could be wrong. Do you want me to continue?
I'm trying to remember. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's continue.
Do you think it's C sharp?
I think so, but I don't want to admit it publicly.
I've played this,
Maybe,
but it's been a very long
maybe
time.
someone can chime in with a comment or something.
Does
But
anybody else know?
yes, right now everybody else knows.
I'll ask around and see if anybody
Yeah, I
else
mean there are
knows.
plenty of mistakes. There are so many mistakes. A lot of these parts have so
Yeah,
many
there absolutely
mistakes.
could be a mistake. There's actually,
Yeah.
I have a question if we have
Yeah.
time in number 3
Okay.
in my part. There's a natural, anyway, if we have time.
Yeah, we have time. All right, let's go on. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
After 6 now.
Okay.
Okay. I'll skip down to after 9. I can continue and finish. After 14. That's the end of number 1.
Do you want to maybe am I muted? No.
No, you're not.
Okay.
I think they were gonna have me finish everything that I was gonna play and then put it side by side.
Okay. I just don't want to forget. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to the play of the waves.
Yeah.
Number 2.
$18. Skipping, I'll play to 25.
That was great. It's beautiful. You almost played the whole piece.
Yeah,
I was chuckling
chose
because
it.
of the
I can play it all.
yeah. I was chuckling because of that last part. The triple staccato.
Yeah,
It's like a
I don't know what.
where
Tonguing maybe.
yeah, every English horn player has to find a way to do it, I guess.
Yes.
There's also the taka 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 taka
So do you
on that and 31 after 31.
You do like taka 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 or taka 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 taka.
I think it's maybe triple staccato, but I don't know. You know, I don't play this stuff that much, so
Not anymore.
I don't. I don't know.
I can do it, but I can't sustain it for a longer line still.
But what I was gonna say is that there's some just things that are like basic gestures and styles. If we go back, if we work our way back, or should you want to start from the beginning? Should we just do that?
I don't care. Beginning's great.
Oh, but now that I see this, I think it's better to make it more intelligible. Right?
So articulate it more.
Just give a little bit of space before you play the next group, so you don't, it doesn't catch you by surprise.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay.
Uh-huh.
And then the thing before, I haven't. This, I think the 16 was a little bit fast. Also, make sure that you count really carefully. Right?
I have
It's different.
It's
different from
so
the.
fast, Karen. And I still did it fast.
It's different from the oboe part, and also.
It is, and I'm thinking.
Okay, so I think the first thing that would really help is to establish the first 3 notes. Don't go. Okay, but make sure you get off the tie quickly enough.
Yeah.
Ba-da-da-da, sol, la, si, do, re, mi, re, do, re, mi, re, do. Okay, so let's try something like that's not what I want. Pam, 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 pa-da-da-da. Slow like that. 1, 2, 3, pa-da-da-da. 1, 2, 3, 1. I think it was a little bit, the second entrance was a little bit late, maybe. Okay, try without the ornament.
Okay.
Just 2 even notes. Yeah, there's nothing to it. There you go. Perfect. All right, let's move on. I really like how you played the 14, 15. That's very nice. I really like how you did the tremolo. I'm a big, sucker for really vibrating the passing tones. So this would really help for me to make it a little dreamier if you could play this along with the cellos. And I guess for those you probably have much more experience playing orchestra music than me, like regular orchestra. But before you take that breath again in the fourth bar, there usually is some kind of an agreement with the cellos and the conductor where you kind of lift a little bit the notes before you breathe, right?
Yes.
Can you please play that again?
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy watching you play. You look like you're having so much fun. And, really, you sound great. I think if you vibrate your passing tones a little more, it would get even a little more seamless.
Okay.
I don't know. My reed is dry, but excuses. Etc. etc. Second time, a little bit softer, maybe.
Yes.
Want to try that again?
Yeah, I'll try it.
Beautiful. You can also breathe before the A, the last A, and you don't have to risk anything, like.
Okay.
Because it's a
Yeah.
little bit tricky.
Yeah.
But it depends on the, the situation, how long, how fast, how
Yeah.
slow they're playing it.
Right.
Do you want to just go back a little bit? Yeah, the rhythm on 10, yeah, I think more emphasis on the rhythm, like param pa sostenuto, param pam param pa pam 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 param pa pa. Can you play that again? Okay. Yeah, I guess I wanted to hear longer Ds, maybe. Param pam param. A little more playful sounding, less driven, maybe. Great.
Okay. That makes sense.
Great.
Yeah.
It's great. Oh.
And it's in the octave.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't.
Yeah. I think for me, I just practice to go to attack the F. If I can make it to the F, then it's fine.
Yeah. Right.
You leave all the fingers down.
Right.
Ah, is that your kid?
Oh my goodness. I told my husband to keep them quiet, and they're being
Oh.
the noisy they could be right now.
How many do you have?
I have 2.
Oh, great. Congratulations.
They're fun.
Well, my daughter is 12 now, so she doesn't want to talk to us very much. She doesn't need us so much.
I'll try to enjoy the young years.
Yeah. Okay, so now I was looking at the music now. Okay, yes, I stand corrected. C natural. And then, of course, in the beginning, the G has to be in tune with that.
Trumpet.
Yes. Yes. It's a classic moment.
We love trumpets too.
Yes. Yeah. So really, I mean, you sound so great. I would just some things like and the un più anime before 5, just a little more dynamics.
Okay.
Did
I get loud too fast?
I think it's hard to know because of the internet. I mean, you don't really hear people's dynamics that well. I mean, you probably teach and you probably hear people play all the time and you don't know.
I just tell them we're going to work on dynamics when we get back.
Yes.
But I think I did get too loud too fast there.
Anna, you said you wanted to talk about the third movement?
Yeah. Maybe somebody else knows then if you don't know for sure. So in my part, so this is before 59, the measure before 59. It's been a bunch of F sharps at the beginning of each bar, but in beat 3, it has a natural in parentheses, and I couldn't hear when I was listening if it was.
No, I think that one before the bar before 59.
Yeah.
No, I think that's right.
think it's right. Okay. It's just in parentheses, so it made me question.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I was gonna ask if anyone here has a trick for the.
I've been slurring it.
I guess make sure that you have this adjusted correctly, right?
I mean, everyone's playing at that point. So it's just more atmospheric. I mean, I guess the only other thing at 58 is a tonguing thing again, because it goes pretty fast. And that's okay, but as it goes along, it gets harder and harder to not get tongue-tied.
Yeah. Do you do double tonguing?
I do.
Okay.
But not. I can't do it for really extended periods. Still working on it.
You only have to do it for a few bars here. No, it gets hard. By the time you get to 59, it's very taxing. Yeah.
I mean, would you mind explaining kind of your philosophy around double tonguing and how to do it? And
yeah,
how it compares to playing oboe?
Well, you mean double tonguing on the English horn?
Yeah. Do you feel it's any different?
You just need more air, more tonguing, and more strength. Yeah, it's just more of the same, but more.
Push more.
But yeah. Yeah, when I teach people how to double tongue, I tell them to make a sandwich. I do the tongue first and the fingers later. Like and then you put them together. So put them together. Practice separate.
Okay.
Will
do.
What else? I think we're done.
That's about it.
You're great. That's amazing. You make it so easy.
English horn is easier than oboe, I guess. So I kind of relax.
Is it? Really?
It's easier, but not. I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's different, and it's funny because. Well, you sound like you play a lot of English horn. You sound like
I've played a fair amount in the past few years.
You sound like a pro to me. And the funny thing is that you always see the people saying, this English horn reed, it's a year old. I've been playing, and I'm like,
Yes.
Because my English horn reeds last less than my oboe reeds. My oboe reeds last longer now.
Okay.
Because I mean, I'm playing like 10 hours a day when we're in the season.
I was
English horn.
I will keep my reeds for maybe like 6 months or so when I'm not playing as much English horn. But I wanted to have you comment on how many English horn reeds you make and how fast you go through them. Like when you're playing operas full time.
I can make a couple of reeds before I go play a show because I also have a profiler that has a copy of my reed on it. But most of the time, by the time I get to the pit, it's not going to be ready because barometric pressure, and some of them are okay. Depends on the cane if it's soft. But I would just say it takes me 1 to 3 reeds to just play one show. Just so I rotate them, and then a very good reed I can play maybe in a span of a week, and then I just put it away. Put it away, and I keep thinking, it's going to be great when I get back to it someday. And then it never. It's like you just want to keep making your reeds, right? So.
Yeah. That's what I do with my oboe reeds too.
Yeah, right. Same
just
thing.
Never as good as when they first are new.
Well, it's just like the older I get, which is my birthday tomorrow.
My birthday a few weeks ago.
Oh, happy birthday! The more I realize is there's just nothing to know with the reeds. It's just you know more and you have more equipment, and it's like it all really doesn't matter. You just have to put up with it.
Yeah.
I guess maybe like being a parent.
Yes.
You think you know, right? And every day is a challenge.
I've become a better musician because I'm a parent now.
Oh,
I would say that.
interesting. Yeah. Managing time. You learn how to manage your time better.
I'm more efficient with my time. I've learned to accept that things aren't going to be perfect, which is hard on the oboe because we have to put so much pressure on ourselves to be perfect.
Thank you so much, Karen, for playing for us. That was fantastic, and Pedro for coaching her through that. And now Pedro Diaz of the MET Orchestra will coach Jacob Shapiro, a student at DePaul University who will play the aria from Cantata No. 1 by J.S. Bach and an excerpt from the Act 2 of the opera Il Pirata by Bellini.
Beautiful. Great job, Jacob.
Thank you.
That was really nice. It's kind of awkward to hear one and then the other because they're so different, right? You know, that Bach wrote when he was in Leipzig, by the time he died, he written more than 200 cantatas. And I hear they even use some of them to warm the fire, you know, as firewood. fire paper. Terrible. And I think this one he wrote it. Do you know the story? I mean, do you know? I think it was for Easter. It was an Advent or something like that. Protestant. And I think the text is from that opera, from that musical, Oklahoma. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Something like that. So happy, cheery, what a great day, beautiful. The flames of the heaven, beautiful. I would say I really like the way you phrase it, with very active, very beautiful pickup notes. Pam pam pararam pam pam pararararam pararam pam para. Try the trill from above just to see what it sounds like. You want to play it again for me, please?
Sure.
Okay, great. So yeah, I'm going to ask you to please try to play sort of towards me, so in case I go like this.
Okay.
So let's see if we can make those eighth notes a little more even. Pam pam, no pa pa, pam pam pararam pam. How about if we try something like? I'm probably talking too much. My reed is dry. Yeah. Pam pararam pam pararam. A parenthesis.
Okay.
Okay. Do it again. It's getting better, but I think the first pickup note has to be the most important of all.
Oh, I
The
see.
first
Okay.
note has to be the first. Pam, 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 pararam, pam, pam, pararararam, pararam, pam, piara.
Okay. From above, but
That's okay. That's okay. Okay. Try from measure 4. Pick up to measure 5. Fa mi re so mi re do fa re do si do. Yeah, I would have a tendency to think of maybe like Bach's keyboard organ pieces, and maybe try to keep those low notes as almost as pedal tones, so they don't sound too short. Maybe. Oh, my reed is dry again.
so
Try
just
that.
more weight and heft on the low notes.
On the low notes. So
Got it.
Okay, just be careful that because of my silly suggestion, now the rhythm doesn't suffer too much.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I really like how you play that. That's really beautiful and it's very flowing. And the pickup note was really, really special. Pam, pa, 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 da, 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 pa, pa. Okay, and
Okay.
then you wanna go on?
Sure.
It doesn't have to be super fast.
Okay.
Yeah, trying to think of the figure bass here, the harmony, how it. Mm. Also, the articulation. Keep it really unified in terms of those eighth notes, separate from the little notes. Try it again. I know it's. I mean, come on. The guy is writing for the. It's a corno de cacha, right? So I think in those times, those instruments were not as actually as loud in the low notes, not as the modern instruments are. So it's we have to try to convey or try to fight the tendency of the instrument to wants to be louder. But my microphone is right in front of me, so it probably sounded really loud anyway.
No, I understand. I do have a marking in my in the edition that I'm playing on. I know it's Bach, as you said, so a lot of
Yeah.
this has been kind of up to translation over many years. But I have like a marking to B forte on the the D E F G pickup. So
Yeah. Well, he didn't write any dynamics.
okay,
They left it always to the performance, but it just sounds a little like it's going to be really easy for it to stick out.
yeah,
Right, that's too common, right? So we want to try to counteract that. Let's do it one more time, please. Oh, by the way, this is BW1.
really, okay.
This is it, the first one, right? BW1, catalog number. It's amazing. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. I really like your playing. It's very nice.
Thank you.
Be careful that the pitch doesn't go a little bit higher. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go from bar pick up to 31. Okay. Okay, I think we have a misprint here, right? No? I am looking at the IMSLP because my part is somewhere in a box
Mhm.
that I haven't unpacked. But yeah, I don't think it's. Which version do you have?
Um, it doesn't have a publishing name on it, but
Yeah,
I have C sharp there, and it does sound bizarre.
yeah,
Um, I don't know specifically.
yeah. Okay, so let's try it again then. I want to listen to it. Also, the trill, it should be a trill to B natural also.
Okay. Okay.
Also, be careful that the 16th notes don't rush too much. Don't have to be in a hurry.
Okay.
Uh, uh, right? No?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Did I not play that?
No, I think you play C natural
Okay.
or B sharp.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Also, I get the feeling that the air is stopping somehow. That you're making commas and the phrase could be a little bit more flowing. That is, I feel like there are little tiny commas somewhere there. Let's
Okay.
do it one more time, please. Last time from there. From pam pam pararam. Pick up to 31. Make sure that those notes are a little bit longer so it doesn't sound like there's a cesura in it.
Got it.
Good. Beautiful. Now the ritornello. Okay, do you want to play a little more? Just
Sure.
finish.
Maybe Bellini.
Sure. Good idea. Ah, Bellini. This is not like the other ones, you know, the Lucrezia Borgia, but they're all around the same time. These operas. This is before Lucrezia Borgia and Norma, but there's beautiful, beautiful, powerful soprano moments here. This is one of them. Unfortunately, I have never performed it because in the 16 years I've been in the Met, we have never done it. I'm waiting.
Oh man.
Yeah, it'll happen. I think it's maybe in the next 2 years we'll be doing it. Looking forward to it. And of course, we all know our beautiful Pasculi homage to Bellini, which is based on this. All right, let's hear it again. Okay, I think you have to.
Yeah, I
clean
got
the.
water.
It's your G sharp tone hole, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's a note that lets you know when you have scraped your heart too much on your English horn reeds. If you
Okay.
ever scrape the heart, then your G sharp starts to sag.
Okay.
Just a little gold nugget. Okay, so first thing, it doesn't really need to be this fast, except the soprano doesn't want to have to wait too much for her entrance. And many times you don't even get acknowledged because you don't want, to compete with the attention. So definitely not too fast, but also don't take too much time away from the soprano.
Okay.
Okay, so let's try. Ba ba bee ba 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 bee ba ba. Okay, great. Like I was talking about before with Rachel about the Yvonne bel canto, the height of the bel canto era, beautiful, lyrical, cantilene. So not virtuosic, which means it should not be in a hurry. Okay, so really have to pace the energy all the way to get. Let me see if my reed is dry again. So funny how. Interesting, huh? Anyway. So all the way to that E flat, it should be alive. It should be alive and it should not be rushing. Try that, Jacob. Just try that slur, active slur from the G to the C. Do it again. Okay, it would help if you had more vibrato on the G, okay. So then it can fall naturally to the C. And then be careful that ornament is not too quick. Also, each eighth note should be beautifully carried with vibrato. Oh, Bobby, oh. Okay, so then once you get to that G, you take a quick breath so you can continue. So there is no hesitation. So it never really, even though you took a breath, it never fell down to the ground. Okay? And
Yeah.
then same here with dolore, you know. See how I took a very quick breath and I didn't really let it die. You can maybe convince a conductor to let you hold that longer. Oh, it's not the. I was thinking about playing the Pasculi version. So from the high note, from down, and then rush to the last apoyatura.
Okay.
Try it again from the beginning, please. Okay, but this, sorry, this is escaping me. It's you want to give it continuity, but you don't want to rush away, right? It has to have weight, but be light at the same time. But what I mean is terms of it has to be really anchored. Okay, so go from there, from the last stem, pick up to the last stem on that page. I don't know why it feels like it's rushing to me.
Okay.
Okay, so I think the first mordent, the first grace note should be slow, and then I did the other one a little bit faster just so it's not repetitive, but you should really lean on that first apoyatura grace note.
I see. Okay.
Go on. Yeah, great. It's beautiful. And, the cadenza, you have all the time in the world. Nobody's playing with you. Just let it fall naturally. Okay. And also, when you get to the top of the page, don't really try to do everything very quickly in terms of the ornamentation. Also, put more weight on the A flat because it puts a little more pain there, right?
Mhm.
Go from there, please. So pick up to the so so la so so fa fa mi mi re re do si. Great, beautiful. I still feel like I did sort of tell you to rush to the grace note, but I take it back. I think it should be like it says morendo. It shouldn't rush, and then a much slower gruppetto for the resolution. And then finish, with authority, with really declared.
Okay.
Okay, can we go from there from two before the lunga?
Yep.
Go from fa sol la do re mi fa sol.
Without the water,
It's
and
great.
on a good day.
That's really good. Really good. Sounds great. Fantastic.
Thank
Do
you
you get
so
to
much.
play? You get to play a lot of English horn in school?
Yeah, I had an untraditional start with the English horn, and that I got a lot of experience. I played in the Chicago Youth Symphony Orchestra and kind of sat as the solo English horn player throughout much of my teenage years. So I got to
Ah,
play a lot of big rep and get to learn them very, very early on the English,
uh-huh.
which did some detrimental things to my oboe technique, which is a whole different kind of conversation. But
Yeah.
I love the English horn, and I thank you so much for your time. You're one of my heroes. So I've been
Thank
seeking
you.
out English horn, beautiful English horn playing since I was very young, and you are the pinnacle of that. So thank you
Uh,
very much for your time and
maybe
all
not.
your wisdom.
Maybe not today, but thank you. Yes, I'm honored. Really beautiful playing. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, Jacob, for playing for us today. That was fantastic and beautiful to hear what you're playing, and Pedro for working with Jacob on the Bach and the Bellini both. So
Yeah.
thank you guys, everyone, for today. I do want to say thank you to everyone who is here for tuning in and participating in this masterclass, and especially a huge thank you to Pedro Diaz for the inspiring coaching. If you have any questions for Pedro or any of the performers, please enter them in the chat right now. I would like to ask Pedro, I got to interview briefly before we got to talk, and it was an amazing interview. You gave some advice on practicing with your mind before running things. Could you speak to your thoughts on practicing?
I guess that, with time you learn to be smarter about practicing. I just don't repeat unnecessarily stuff that you don't need to practice. So I use a lot of visualization, try to run things through your mind the way you want them without having to wear down your instrument in your hands or the reeds. And also I like to get to know the piece without playing it first, solfege it or sing it. And so by the time I get to play, I sort of know what I want or what I think I want.
So really mentally practicing as much as you're physically practicing each piece.
Actually, yes, of course.
You also had some great advice on feeling what you do and the importance of being able to feel what you're performing instead of just, playing more cerebrally, I think. So how do you approach feeling what you're doing? Are you just staying in tune with the rest of the group you're playing in, or if it's a solo work, do you have any sort of different approach?
You mean like being part of a group playing together, or how I feel about playing a certain piece?
So either, just in terms, how do you have specific things that you do when you're really thinking about performing and really creating music and adding emotion into it instead of just playing, what's on the page, which we can be
Yeah.
guilty of when we're a little bit lazier?
Yeah, well, I think you must know the style of the music that you're playing. If you're playing Richard Strauss or if you're playing Wagner or bel canto, you could know the story. It helps to know the context of what you're playing, but you don't have to if you know the style. If you interpret what the composer wrote, the music will speak for itself. And yes, you have to be able to go in and out of your section without creating too much trouble when you play. Get out of the way when you have to. Be sensitive. So we have to develop sort of like echolocation, kind of like what bats use, but just for trying to determine what your colleagues are playing in space and time.
Yes, exactly. Okay, we do have a question. It looks like from Garrett. Garrett, I'm going to open up your microphone so you can ask Pedro directly. Here we go. It looks like Garrett is asking about listening to the violas in the Q&A, but it looks like his mic is not unmuted. Those microphones. Why does Zoom make everyone confirm muting and unmuting? I mean, maybe it's a good thing, but right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say I forgot to tell Jacob, that this kind of music, you would think that string players are really stressed out when they have to play Strauss and Wagner, but this bel canto stuff, that is the hardest stuff for them. They hate it because they have to do this for like 3 hours. The arms it's killing them. It's so hard on them to just keep this perfect accompaniment.
I do see we have a comment from Garrett saying that Pedro, you are one of his favorite stand partners.
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, so if we have any other questions coming in, please, again, do feel free to put them in the chat or the Q&A. Both, I am keeping an eye on them. There was another thing that we got to talk about in terms of making things as vocal as possible. Now, we've been doing a lot of work on, pieces that are not necessarily we have some opera and some non-opera repertoire today. Do you find that there's a difference in terms of playing opera versus non, or is it really just about making the music the best it can be?
Oh, absolutely. It's such a different discipline. I mean, when you play orchestra, you have to be on top of the beat. You have to be pretty much almost like ahead. Opera is you take a seat back to the singers. And I learned that very early, playing in the Met, that you don't really follow the conductor. I mean, but you're looking at the conductor, but you're actually waiting for the singer to come in, and the conductor is doing the same thing. So he's a mediator in between, us. But it is a different style of playing, and of course, it's a different sound. I play in a more vocal style, which for an orchestra may not be appropriate. Which means that it's a little more out there, more expressive sometimes, depending. So because the English horn in the opera accompanies the singers, or is always a moment of desolation or death or loss, so it has to be out there and it has to be very expressive in opera. But in orchestral music, you have beautiful, Spanish pieces or overtures or or rhapsodies, and then the English horn is a virtuoso instrument también, also sometimes, and so it plays different roles too.
So it's important to think about the context instead of just shining the entire time, as it should.
Yeah, in the orchestra, the English horn is a color. It's a color that is part of a big team, and also, of course, gets to play incredible solos too. But in opera, the English horn sometimes is just really on its own. Except when you play Puccini and when you play Wagner, then you really are part of the show,
Right. Okay, so then we have a question from Karen actually asking, do you use alternative fingerings different from oboe fingerings at all?
Yes, it's allowed. On the English horn, extra fingerings are allowed most of the times. Except for B, I don't like to add fingers, or C for B, because then you can really hear them. But you can play fork def all day long if you want. Nobody's going to yell at you for that. Because
So
it really adds to the colors, the different colors. It's permissible for English horn. Yeah.
so Karen's asking, whatever works is just permissible.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Everybody loves the English horn. It doesn't matter who's playing. If you hear the Dvorak New World Symphony, everybody's gonna go, bravo, English horn, more English horn.
Oh, please go ahead.
The English horn is the cowbell of the classical music. More cowbell.
More English horn. Yeah. Wonderful. So I actually did have another question too. We also got to talk about this challenge that you did to yourself
to myself, yes.
To yourself. No, I know that was not phrased elegantly, but we were talking about this reggaeton challenge that you did, this 24-hour listening challenge, which was really interesting because what happens, especially in the classical world, is, or if we go from one to the other, a lot of us don't cross from one side to the other side in terms of music. We stay on our side and what's comfortable with us. So you went out there and you challenged yourself by listening to reggaeton. Now, so that means, do you feel that you have more of an understanding of that in general, or how would you bring people who are used to listening to that as their primary source of music into the opera? Just an easy question there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how I'm going to get out of this one, Katie. But basically, I started a YouTube channel last year, 2020, and the purpose of this channel was to recruit people to come to the Met. And because I am an audiophile, in case you didn't notice, I have a lot of audio gear. I wanted to invite fellow audiophiles to come to the Met, to come see opera, because it's getting more challenging to find audiences everywhere. And the people who are in these generations, they don't know where music comes from. Sometimes they just know what we handed to them, because we already wrote, every piece has been written. The Writer's Spring was already inaugurated. There was already a chaos, and the Beatles already happened, and Michael Jackson already happened. Like Stockhausen and all that stuff. So what do they have? They don't have much to work with. They have sample music. So I decided that because it was we make fun of reggaeton a lot in my channel. My daughter, who's 12 years old, she suggested that I should do a challenge like that and say, why don't you listen to reggaeton, which is a form of Puerto Rican rap hip hop, and which is also notorious for the content of the lyrics, which is very explicit and is very abusive towards women. There's a lot of social elements that are very controversial in this kind of music. And so I decided that I was going to, as a musician, endure 24 hours of reggaeton on a Bose speaker, which is another difficult thing for audiophiles. The Bose brand represents sort of like the devil for audiophiles, whatever. So I listened to reggaeton on a Bose speaker for 24 hours. And I learned a lot. And it became an open forum. I invited producers and engineers in the reggaeton world in Puerto Rico, which now it's called, everything turns into pop, Now they call it urban pop, because now Shakira and other singers, Beyonce, they can also do reggaeton. It's just a umpa tumpa, tumpa tumpa. That's what it is, You hear it everywhere. It has become, but classical music also suffers from the pop phenomena. Pop swallows every music, and it just turns it into a blob. So I wanted to say, look, if I listen to this music, that means people should not be afraid of music. You should not be afraid to listen to opera or classical or 20th century music or John Cage. You know, it's just music. It's not going to hurt you to listen to music. And that was my point. Turned out to be a great thing, though.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing with us. We did have another question come in about your English horns. What vocals are you using, and do you ever switch vocals for different pieces? What is the difference between your two English horns that you have there with you?
I have an English horn here by Paul Laubing. May he rest in peace. Recently he passed. This is a rosewood English horn that he made for me. It actually has a third octave, which he begrudgingly did. Third octave is something that he didn't really like doing, and it's my love. It's my really nice instrument. But I also have other instruments. I have Fox English horns, which I co-developed with them and are made out of maple, very light. And right now I also am trying this Loré English horn, and this one it's Kingwood or Violet wood. And this one actually I'm using the standard vocal that came with. I can't believe it, but it just sounds really great with this vocal. I'm not going to mess around. I've tried, but it sounds so good. Why bother? But most of the time, if I want to go back to basics, I usually like to use a Hineker 12.5. And Hineker number 1, 12.5. That's my gravity center in case I get lost, which happens a lot.
I somehow doubt that, but thank you so much for sharing. I actually did have a question for all of our performers. Would you let us know your instrument models as well today? So one at a time, Jacob or Karen, if you want to start and let us know your instrument models, and then Rachel, when you're ready.
I have a Loré that I've had that I bought in college. I've been through 3 professional level professional level oboes since college, and this has been my English horn. This has just stayed with me, and it has its things, but it's been great. It fits me well. And my vocal, I played on a number 1 that came with my English horn for a very long time. But in the past few years, I switched to the Etoile one that looks different than the more standard Loré ones. So this is a Loré Etoile one, which I really love. I love playing it in orchestra. But I also have a gold one that is a number 1. I don't play it quite as much, but I like it when I'm playing in a more intimate or when I'm playing with a microphone. Today I played with the Etoile just because that's what I normally play with. But anyway, so.
Sounds
Wonderful.
great.
My little setup right there.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, okay.
No, that was great, Karen. Thank you. Okay, so Jacob, introduce your friend there, and then we need to know the model of your instrument and vocal.
Yes, this is Milo. He says hello to everyone watching.
Milo, where's Otis?
He's been dying to get in the room and sit on my lap for the duration of the night, so he's very pleased right now. But I play on a Loré English horn as well. The top joint of my English horn is synthetic due to a crack that went down the entire length of the top joint a couple months ago, which Loré graciously helped me replace and put on synthetic. And synthetic, it's a really bad rap, but the peace of mind that I have that it will never crack is excellent. And I think, technology has come such a long way that I really don't feel a difference. In some things I actually prefer more on the synthetic material. So that's kind of what I'm playing on right now for English horn. I'm partial to collecting bells, different type of English horn bells, and have been working with different makers and also some just different handy people across the US and kind of custom making different shapes and diameters and all that crazy stuff just to see how it affects the instruments. But vocals, kind of the same thing. I have a collection of them, and it kind of feels like on the given day, it's always changing. I don't know that I necessarily have a favorite, but today I also played on a Loré Etoile, but mine is gold. And I also have a Chudnow 3B that I really, really love.
Oh, those are old. Those are very old, right?
Yeah, they're quite old. Yeah, I think with the vocal situation, a lot of it in my experience has been about like how comfortable the shape feels. And the Chudnow vocals have a nice length, and they have like a more severe curve, it seems, than, I don't know if this is the Chudnow and this is like a Luray, but yeah, I don't know. It's hit or miss with the vocals, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with my setup.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing, Jacob. Rachel, can you share what your setup is?
Yeah, well, now I feel unadventurous. So I play on a Howarth English horn. I've played on it my whole career since like 2004. And I play on a number 2 Howarth vocal, and that's my one and only. Always use it. I have one other vocal that I'm borrowing right now, which is an old Howarth vocal. I think it's from the 70s. And I love the sound. It's super characterful, but I thought I would go with the more standard today.
Yeah, the Howard vocals are very, very handmade, so they're all different. You could try Howard vocals forever and keep finding differences.
Yeah, the number 2 that I have is pretty standard. You can see the
Yeah.
old one is tiny.
Mm-hmm. It's like clarinet players, clarinet players that keep trying mouthpieces.
The last question we can answer today is, how do you handle water issues in freezing concert venues? So assuming there are temperature issues, do you bring more than one English horn with you? Maybe you're playing outdoors.
Yeah, I usually, if there's gonna be a condition where I'm afraid of cracking or something like that, I might bring my Laubin, which I know is not gonna crack, but also my Fox, my maple instrument will not. The only thing with the Fox that it's a little bit difficult when it gets really humid. It plays tricks on you a little bit. The humidity makes it change a little bit. But there are things that you can do, like keeping your octave vents clean your octave vents often. And when I'm sitting in the Met, I try not to do this. I try to always, when I'm not playing, put my instrument down on my lap like this, or once in a while you'll see me doing this, just hit it against my hand to make sure that there's any water in the holes, it'll come back. Also this or this. Very neurotic. You see me in the pit doing this, or all just to try to avoid this very same thing happening. But there are times when you cannot avoid it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you again so much today for all of the coaching and advice, Pedro. And thank you, Rachel and Jacob and Karen, for performing for us today. This has been so fun for me to get to watch and listen to. Thank you all. You did a wonderful job. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and hope to see you at the next masterclass. Thanks, everyone.